One of the scariest stories related to a werewolf from Bluegrass Hills in Kentucky tells about the terrible attacks that took place over several years. Witnesses described horrific encounters with this monster that left them in deep shock and fear. One of the witnesses was a young guy named Jacob. One night he was returning home through the dense Bluegrass Hills forest when he suddenly felt that he was being followed. He stopped and turned around, and a terrible sight appeared to his eyes. In front of him stood a huge silhouette with bestial features and twinkling eyes. It was a werewolf. Jacob felt waves of fear permeate his body, and his legs refused to obey. The werewolf was getting closer, making terrible howls. Jacob desperately tried to escape, but the creature was much faster and stronger. The werewolf pounced on Jacob and began to skillfully tear his flesh with his sharp fangs. Jacob's screams echoed through the night forest, but no one could hear his moans, because all the other residents were intimidated and stayed in their shelters. Another witness to the terrible events was a local farmer named Allison. She woke up one night to the sounds of her horses worrying in the barn. Going outside, she saw a huge creature covered with fur, which growled and bared its sharp fangs. The werewolf clung to one of the horses and began to violently tear it apart. Allison, overcome with horror, powerlessly watched this nightmare, unable to do anything to stop the death of her animal. A lot of similar stories about the attacks of the werewolf from Bluegrass Hills went by word of mouth to their mouths in this area. The locals lived in fear, not knowing who would get the next victim. They shut themselves in their homes, hoping that they would be able to avoid meeting this terrible creature. Despite all efforts, the police and hunters were unable to catch the werewolf or stop his brutal attacks. The existence of the werewolf from Bluegrass Hills has become a legend that continues to live in the hearts and minds of local residents. And although these stories cause horror and awe, they also remind us that there are unknown forces and secrets in this world that it is better not to put to the test.